Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DFS experience for Saturday, April 16th. We have a 4-game slate, playoff edition. I like it better this way, a lot more variety. You won't have a lot of duplicate lineups like you're having today. Today's slate was an absolute shit show. Started with Paul George not being eligible to play. We already knew that was going to be a mess because nobody can tell you who's going to step up for the Clippers. Nobody could tell you who's going to play, how many minutes. You know what I'm saying? It just became a whole mess. So, and then with Capella getting hurt, I'm sure everybody had Capella because he was playing well and he was getting minutes. In the back of my head, I knew it was too good to be true that you were going to get Capella playing 35 minutes. You get Capella playing 35 minutes, he's gonna put up good numbers. And I had a gut feeling that it's too good to be true. Too many good games in a row from Clint Capella. So what did I do? I made one lineup with Clint Capella. I made one lineup without him. And that's for Fanduel. DRAFTKINGS, I faded him because he didn't fit my lineup construction. So, I mean, the Clint Capella stuff, it works out. I was prepared for it, but now you got CJ McCollum not doing shit. And the second quarter, does he know this is a playing game? Wow. Whatever. Let's get back to what we're doing. Listen, we're going to start with DraftKings. We're going to start with point guard. You got Ja at 9,800. Now I really don't want to make this video too long, but I need to explain that Minnesota and Memphis are absolutely looking forward to playing each other. They're looking at each other like two young up-and-coming teams. Well, Minnesota's looking at themselves like an up-and-coming team, and Memphis has this mentality that they have arrived. Memphis has arrived, and I think the only team that can really beat them is Phoenix. So we'll see how it plays out. The same like I did with Trey when I said Trey is a lock because he goes up to big games. Ja wants to be special. I'm going to try my best to roster Ja in every slate that he's in. I know we got some centers coming up that's good as well, but I think Ja's going to go out of his way to put up decent numbers. So Ja's in play. We're waiting on Curry. I still prefer Ja if Curry was healthy. If Curry's in, fine. If it's not in, then you know what to do. We'll get to that in a minute. Harden is a fade for me. He hasn't looked dominant, and he's going up against Toronto. Toronto's not going to let him do what he wants to do. Toronto's going to have a slew of guys to throw at him. Harden is on the outside of the player pool looking in. Or he's at the back of the player pool, however you want to look at it, but I have no interest in Harden. And 9,200. Poole looks great if there's no Curry. If Curry's in play, you can't play Poole at 8,300. Because even if you get 5 times value, or even if you're looking for 5 times value, that's going to be a hard task for that man. So, if you're playing this slate tomorrow, you can't be at barbecues. You can't be at the movies with your significant others. You can't be at the mall shopping. You got to be home on your device paying attention to DFS. Because this is the playoffs. If you miss one piece of news and you're not able to swap, game over, you lose. Okay? So make sure you pay attention. This ain't fun and games anymore. We're in the playoffs, so I need y'all focus on y'all lineups. Okay? Okay. Van Fleet at 79, he's in play. Brunson is in play. D'Angelo Russell, he showed you that, he showed you the old Brooklyn D'Angelo Russell. And you see he could pull it out whenever he wants. Russell's in play. Maxi's okay at 6,400. Dinwiddie's at awesome price because I actually think that he might play a little bit better than Brunson with no Luka. Tyus Jones, not for 6K. Must be out of your mind. Conley, if I was playing like 40 lineups, I'd play Conley and maybe one. Beverly's in play. Clarkson's in play. And when I say that, 2-3% of your lineups. And that's about it. I'm not taking a risk on anyone else. Donovan Mitchell, if he plays, he activates another mode for Utah. But I'm not trying to scare you. There's something going on with Utah between him, the coach, Rudy Gobert. Chemistry's off. If they lose to Dallas without Luka, something is really up. But 8,100, and I get 41 fantasy points out of Donovan Mitchell, I'm okay with that. Anything less than 40 fantasy points from Donovan Mitchell is a failure. That's less than 5 times value. Klay Thompson, if there's no Curry, he's in play. Anthony Edwards, I've been telling you about Anthony Edwards all year long. He's gonna be a megastar. He's gonna be a megastar. You've seen when Carl Anthony faded into the lights or faded into the shadows. Anthony Edwards emerged from the lights, emerged from the fire, whatever you want to call it. He stepped up, and I've been telling you that he's different. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to Anthony Edwards. 7,600 is a fine price. Bane is in play. He's second in command in Memphis. He's the next guy up. It goes Ja. It goes Bane. You want to throw Jaren Jackson? Cool. Adams is Adams. He just Mr. Reliable. Then you have the guards, Melton and Jones. Then you got Slow-Mo. So there's a pecking order in Memphis, but Bane is number 2. So he's in play at 7,100. Dillon Brooks, I forgot about him. Ja, Bane, Brooks and Jaren Jackson could share 3rd place. Then you got Steven Adams. Then the rest of them boys. Gary Trent's in play. Will Barton's in play. OG's in play at 5,500. Melton's in play if you're playing lineups 2%, 3% of your lineup. And if you're playing, many lineups, you can play Beasley and 1. That's about it. Small forward. Barnes is in play. But, you know my rules for Toronto. You want to play maybe 2 out of the 4, 3 out of the 4, depending on how your lineup is constructed. One of Siakam, Barnes, OG. Then one of Van Fleet, Gary Trent, Barnes. Want to put Barnes in that combo area. You know what I'm saying? Guard, forward. He plays multiple positions. I wouldn't want to play, more than 2 of. I wouldn't want to play Van Fleet and Trent. I want to play Van Fleet and Siakam, or Trent and Barnes, or Trent and OG, if you kind of understand what I'm trying to say. 1 guard and 1 forward from Toronto. Because they all do the same things. Because the thing is, in a 48-minute game, if a forward is having a very good game, that means it's likely that the other forward isn't. If Siakam is grabbing, 8 rebounds and 2 blocks, it's very likely that OG's not doing the same thing, because he's a forward also. If If you're a veteran DFS player, you understand what I'm saying. If you're a newer player, just split your guards up in your forwards from Toronto. Don't play too many of each. That's what I'm trying to say. Aaron Gordon's in play. Wiggins is in play. Especially there's no Curry. He's hurt too. What the hell's going on with him? Let's see. Wiggins has been ruled out. Wait, this is old. I guess he's playing. I don't see anything that oh, lower back tightness. So we'll see. We'll see if he plays. Bo Johnson play. Finney Smith for me. No Bullock for me. No Danny Green. No Royce O'Neal. None of them for me. Player pool is tight. Siakam's in play. Barnes is in play. Tobias Harris. You're playing many lineups. 1 or 2%. Draymond. I firmly believe that Draymond can't do shit without Curry. I'm not playing him if Curry's not playing, because if they get down or they start missing shots, he's going to get frustrated. He's going to take himself out the game, and then you get no point from Draymond Green. And the purpose of playing fantasy sports is to get the most fantasy points. Draymond doesn't like to do that when Curry's not there. There's a lot of games where Curry doesn't play. He takes himself out the game. Don't at me. It's true. If there's no Wiggins, Kuminga's in play, but you got to see if he starts. You got to pay attention to the details, the fine details with these playoff slates. They're not running bench players 24 minutes anymore. This is the real deal. Starters play heavy minutes, and players 6, 7, 8, and 9, which are the roster spots, first guys off the bench, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're going to play maybe 18 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So pay attention to what you're doing. Jokic is 10-6. 10-6 for Jokic is too cheap. Because he could put up 70, 75 fantasy points at the snap of his finger. So you want to have Jokic in a lot of lineups. Same thing with Embiid. They're going to need him to be big if they're going to win. But if they double him, Harden has to come through. Towns is at 9,600. His price is not too crazy because he has good guys on the team that could produce. That's why his price is lowered. He's in play though. Gobert's in play, but I would want to see how it plays out in game 1 to see how much synergy there is between Mitchell and Gobert. If they don't have synergy, they're not winning anything. And I'm not trying to waste my 8K on a center that is not getting the ball from his point guard / shooting guard / best playmaker on the team. Steven Adams is always in play. Okay, he can give you a big game for a little price. Steven Adams actually looks really good to me. Dwight Powell. I don't like Dwight Powell without Luka giving them, easy shots. Achua, 4,300. I prefer Achua to be minimum, but the starting center at 4,300 is not the end of the world. Whiteside, if you want to be cute, play Whiteside. Be low owned. No Cousins. Brandon Clark is in play. He gets a little bit of run, maybe 18, 20 minutes off the bench. We'll see. But he will play. And I think that's it. Not Reed, if you're feeling froggy. Now we'll see how else the rest of these people are incorporated. The Kevin Looney, the Thaddeus Youngs. I'd rather wait for one game to see what they do, because I wouldn't know. So with that being said, let's pick 5 guys that I like. Let's get out of here. Let's go to Fanduel. love Jokic. He's too cheap. He does everything. Like I said before, I like Ja. I like Dinwiddie in this spot. I mean, can Dinwiddie and Brunson hold down the fort? That's the question. I like Anthony Edwards, but I definitely can't play him with all of these guys. OG is reliable, but he's got a lot of guys that do the same thing on his team. That's the scary thing about OG. Draymond at 61 is not bad, but I don't trust him. I think that I'm going to have to pick Brunson at 7,200. I'd rather take the cheaper guy. Dylan Brooks, 6,200. Gary Trent. I like Gary Trent. Beverly. Gary Trent. Ja, Dinwiddie, OG, Jokic, Gary Trent. Definitely can't use this as a lineup because I'm not going to be able to get 3 players for $3,900. But I love Ja, I love Jokic. Self-explanatory. OG does a lot of everything. Doesn't need to score to put up fantasy points. I like Dinwiddie because he's the cheaper of the two. As far as him and Brunson, and Dinwiddie will take shots. He looks a lot more comfortable in Dallas. And Gary Trent, because any two of the Toronto starting lineups is a good play. You just got to get lucky and hope that you pick the right ones. And these two, OG and Trent, they get stocks, they get rebounds, they get blocks, they get steals. So I'm gonna go with those 5 for now. If you're new here, welcome. I'm taking a little bit of extra minute to break down this slate because now we're in serious time now. So I'm trying to take my time just to make sure that we all understand each other on who I like and who I don't like, and who to play and who not to play, because this is the playoffs. So thank you for watching. Hope the video helps you. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell, thumbs up the video so we could build a channel. And I know it's playoff time, so I'm going to say this nice and slow. If you're having trouble building winning lineups and you need assistance as far as optimal, up-to-date lineups with all the news that happens late, check out my Patreon, links in the description. I do all the research, I rewatch all the games, I build my lineups right before lock with all the information that's put out there, and I build the best optimal lineups I can make. I send them out right before lock. Right now, all packages include NBA and MLB. Today I watched the Atlanta games and the Cleveland games twice just to watch the rotations. And figuring out what a team is going to do and who they're going to play is a very big part of breaking down DFS and figuring out who to play. I always look for players that play 28 minutes and up. You're going to take at least 10 shots, and if they're not specifically scorers, they grab rebounds, they play defense, they get steals, they get blocks, they get assists. So that's how I try to build my lineups. But enough with the small talk. Let's get to Fanduel. So we're going to start with point guard. Curry's 9,200. He looks a lot better there. John Morant is 8,800. Way too cheap. Donovan Mitchell is sick. He's not missing a playoff game, so he's in play. Actually, now that I think of it, if he's not passing the ball to Gobert, that means he's just gonna take all the shots himself and either make it, get fouled, or miss it. So I like Mitchell even more now that I think about it. Van Fleet's in play. Russell, Brunson, Dinwiddie, all in play. Poole looks amazing at 6,300. If there's no Curry, Poole's a lot. Conley, you're playing 25 lineups, play him in one. He's okay. Maxey, listen, Maxey's going to have a game. He's going to hit all the shots. Maxey's in the player pool. Play him, if it fits what you're doing. I think I'll stop at Patrick Beverley. And I won't really take any shots at anybody else. Harden is okay at 9, but like I said, not really my cup of tea right now. I don't like what he's been doing lately. I don't like his demeanor. I don't like his play. I'd rather play Anthony Edwards. Russell's in play. Clay looks great at 6,800. Listen, if there's no Curry, you're locking in Clay, you're locking in Poole. That's it. Nothing else to talk about. Desmond Bane, 59 is fine. Gary Trent, 56 is fine. Will Barton, Brooks, all in play. If Beasley helps your lineup, then that's fine. Tobias Harris, 6,100. You make him many lineups, you can play him in 1 or 2, but he's not an X factor anymore. OG looks good. Bojan looks good. Scotty Barnes looks great at 5,500. Kuminga, if there's no Wiggins. And I stop at Kuminga. Player pool is extra tight. Remember that. Why is Jokic a power forward? What's going on? Wow. And beating Jokic a power forward, so you know what to do. Play them both. Jokic is 12K, and Embiid is 11.3. Play them both. Wow, what are they doing? Why would they do that? This is insanity. Alright, Siakam's in play, but nobody's going to play him now. Cat's in play. Aaron Gordon's in play. Jaren Jackson's in play. Dwight Powell is not $4,900 with no Luka. I'll pass. Vanderbilt, last man in. Boucher, last man in. Brandon Clark, last man in. But who's playing these guys at power forward when we have Embiid and Jokic? And I guess this is crazy. Alright. Gobert is in play, 8K, but he's going to be very low owned. Steven Adams at 5,100. He looks amazing. I already know what I'm going to do. No Whiteside for me on Fanduel. I'll stop at Steven Adams. Because like I said, I keep my player pool tight. So, with that being said, let's pick 5 guys that I like. I'm starting off with Steven Adams because he'll be in when Cat is in. Then I'm going to Jokic. A small forward. I'm going Anthony Edwards, a shooting guard. Hold on. Let's get my Ja in there first. I'm picking up Ja. And then at shooting guard, I'll pay down with Clay. Gary Trent. I'll pay down with Gary Trent so that I could actually try to use this lineup and find some value. I might take out somebody, but definitely playing Adams and Jokic. I'm playing Adams in every lineup at center, and then I'll mix match my power forwards. And then Ja, I'm going to be playing heavy. And then I'll mix in my Gary Trent, my Anthony Edwards, my Pools, my Klay Thompsons. See what I'm saying? So this is the 5 guys that I like for for Fanduel. So, we got through this video. Thanks for watching. I hope that you didn't play 100% Capella and your night was ended early. Hope that you have a good night, and I'll see you guys later. I'll see you guys in a bit with the MLB video. Alright, talk to you guys in a few. Ciao.